A major finance initiative for entrepreneurs to be launched this week. Barbadians warned about not paying their water bills. And in sports, CCC Marooners win their first regional Super 50 title.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Sophia Alsop, Cambridge, with this Sunday, October 28th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, hundreds of Barbadians will have access to funds to kickstart their dreams of entrepreneurship when government's Trust Loan programme is launched next week. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley made the announcement as she addressed a packed auditorium at the Lodge School during the Barbados Labour Party's 80th annual conference. Our Lorna Jones has more.
Over the next few months, entrepreneurs should find it much easier to get liquor licenses and certificates of character. This, along with a new financing mechanism, are part of sweeping changes to improve the environment for small businesses. Prime Minister Motley has described the trust loans, to be launched Wednesday, as a major empowerment and enfranchisement tool for Barbadians.
There are too many people in Barbados now who cannot open a bank account, far less borrow money from anybody. You're not working. You want to start a little something. Nobody prepared to trust you. You don't even have a little money to put in a meeting turn. Are your government collecting taxes and don't see you? Let that be the last government, not this one. We see you. We see you. We hear you. But above all else, we will trust you.
The Prime Minister says she's counting on the recipients of the trust loans to do their part so the program can go on to benefit others.
I ask those persons who will be the recipients of that $10 million in trust funds, potentially more than 2,000 Barbadians, to recognize that when you pay it back, you allow us then to allow another set of Barbadians to borrow. And that every year we are committed to put in another 10 million. And if you were so kind as to give us 10 instead of 5, it would mean that we would have put $100 million for ordinary poor people in this country to be able to borrow and build enterprise in this country.
Another area touched on by the Prime Minister was integrity legislation. She revealed that plea bargaining will be part of the new legislative arrangement. Prime Minister Motley has also given an update on the mission-critical agenda. She says although government has made significant strides in areas such as debt and foreign reserve levels, they may need longer than the 6-month timeline outlined. The Prime Minister says this is due to the depth of the issues government continues to uncover. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
Thank you so much, Lorna. Meanwhile, a regional politician is telling Prime Minister Motley to stay the course as she seeks to turn Barbados' economy around. Jamaica's opposition leader and People's National Party head, Dr. Peter Phillips, gave the advice during his feature address at the BLP conference. Rianne Phillips reports.
Jamaica is no stranger to economic restructuring, and its former finance minister and current opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips has given Barbados some advice as it pursues its own program.
If you take the hard decisions early, if you stay the course, if you sustain your patience and your courage, you will achieve success.
During his speech, he praised the BLP for biting the bullet to rescue the economy.
The multilateral organizations, when they intervene, quite frankly, they intervene with more detail, more comprehensively than was the case with colonial authorities in the last years of colonialism. So I applaud the Barbados Labour Party government for agreeing to bite the bullet and take charge of the fiscal accounts of this country.
However, Dr. Phillips has warned the party against being disheartened if all promises from the international community aren't kept.
When we took on the battle, there were many promises made by elements in the international community of resources that would flow. But as they say in the good book, promises comfort. What is it? Give God thanks for the promises, but understand, if the promises are not fulfilled, don't let that cause you to waver in your determination to reach the end point.
Dr. Phillips also believes Caribbean countries should not ignore regionalism. He says it would be a valuable force in ongoing battles like the climate change fight. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Well, Barbadians are being told to pay their water bills in full and stop trying to avoid the garbage sewage contribution levy. The caution is coming from Minister of Water Resources Wilfred Abrams. The levy, as you know, was introduced on the 1st of August in order to assist the Sanitation Service Authority, as well as to help address problems on the South Coast sewage issue. Speaking during a media conference recently, Minister Abrams said the decision by some not to pay the levy is completely illegal.
One ends up with a bill of $20,000, and it's because they had an underground leak or something that could not have been discovered by them on a visual inspection. Then there exists a framework to waive most, if not all, of the excess water and the rate for that, because you couldn't be expected to know that your pipe burst underground. That's an entirely different situation from where people look at a bill and decide that they are not paying the government contribution that the law requires that you pay.
And the chair of the Barbados Water Authority, Leodine Worrell, says the GSG levy comes out first, and therefore the Barbados Water Authority does not receive money from the payee if the bill is not paid in full. She says people sometimes opt to pay their cell phone bill before their water.
We as a country have to readjust our priorities. And the Barbados Water Authority can no longer be expected to carry that load. We can't.
Well, yet another Barbadian has reached the special age of 100 years old. This time it's Bibby's Lane resident Lillian Priscilla Williams. The mother of 2 daughters, who originally hails from Bournes Village, enjoyed her day in the company of relatives, friends and, of course, Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason. Ms. Williams' younger daughter, Norma Sobers, recalled her time working alongside her mother as she sold produce from her donkey cart.
From the time she passed Huddersfield Turn and she got down to Waterford, most people will be calling out, and I go with her on a Saturday all through Bank Hall, up one avenue and down the other. She was calling out and people were just waiting for Miss Williams to come down with potatoes and things to buy.
And Ms. Williams is also a grandmother to 2 and great-grandmother to 3. Elder daughter Eileen Bryan says her mother, although quiet, was strict and still works hard.
I don't know if she stopped working yet, because every day she wanted dry okra and a piece of hoe. Every day she see me, she want to go into the ground. She going out. She can't let the ground run away because she told me last week, the ground run away so hard, so fast, no, I can't even catch it. She want the ground work up, and she want to plant okra. She got peas to go and pick, which I don't see no pea tree, but she got peas to go and pick. She got things to do, and she can't sit down there and let the ground run away.
Well done, Ms. Williams, and happy birthday to you from all of us.